Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's more at Embark Online. You can tweet me, and there is the Pie Guy. All right, this is 4th grade, Module 7, Lesson 12, and in this lesson, students are going to be using measurement tools to convert mixed measurements to smaller units. So what does that mean? That means like we're going to be taking yards and turning them into feet, or taking yards and turning them into inches, and so that's the idea of we're going to be taking measurements and breaking them into smaller units. So let's get started. So we're going to draw a tape diagram, and we're going to start by drawing a tape diagram to show that 1 1/3 yards is equal to 4 feet. So we're going to start by just 1 yard. So let's draw a yard. And we know that 1 yard is really 3 feet. Another way to say 1 yard, you could say it's 3 feet. All right, so now 1 yard. And then, so if we want 1 1/3 yards, so we already see that 1 yard is broken up into thirds. It's 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. So each third of a yard is a foot. So if we want 1 plus an extra third, 1 yard plus a third, that's how we're going to show that we're going to have 4 feet. Down here, draw a tape diagram to show that a half gallon is 2 quarts. Well, we know we're going to start by drawing a gallon. All right, there's 1 gallon. And we know that 1 gallon is really made up of 4 quarts. So there's our 4 quarts. So each one of these is 1 quart. So if we want a half a gallon, that's this much. That's the way that we're going to show that it's 2 quarts. And the last one, 1 3/4 gallons. So we're going to start by drawing a gallon. So you'll notice I looked at the label, and that's what I started off by drawing. So we're going to start off by a gallon, by drawing a gallon. And we know that that gallon is broken up into 4 quarts. So it's broken up into fourths. So if we want 1 3/4 gallons, that means I'm going to have to draw 3 more of these little quarters, 3 more fourths. So there's 1, 2, 3, and so there is our 7 quarts. So we're going to practice a little length concept here. So a half a foot is equal to how many inches? So here's a foot, and then they're showing that foot is right up against the inches. And we can see that half a foot, by taking that foot, cutting it in half, we can see is 6 inches. So we can see that, boom, there and there, half means we cut it into 2 equal-sized pieces, and each sized piece has 6 inches. So we know that that answer is 6. Okay, so I'm going to make that go away. And so now we've got what fraction of a foot is a quarter of a foot, which is what fraction out of 12 of a foot is equal to a quarter of a foot, which is equal to how many inches. So this quarter of a foot, that's the key. That tells us we're going to take our foot and break it up into 4 equal-sized pieces. So there's our quarter. These are quarters, so we can see that each quarter is made up of 3 inches. So each quarter is made up of 3 inches. So we can say a quarter is 3 inches, which is 3 out of 12. All right, and that's the idea of how we're going to do this on this this page. We're going to imagine taking our foot. In this case, it says 1/6 of a foot, so that means we have to cut our foot into 6 equal-sized pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we see that each 1/6 is 2 inches. So that gives us our answer of 2 inches. So 2 out of 12 is equal to 1/6, which is equal to 2 inches, and that is the process for all of these problems. So we're going to put it all together and start practicing converting. So we have 2 2/3 yards, and we want to know how many feet is that. Well, 2 2/3 yards. So we're going to start with a yard, and we know that yard is cut up into 3 feet. Plus we could take another yard. It's cut up into 3 feet. And then if we want 2/3 of a yard, 2/3 of a yard, well, that means we need 2 of those little pieces. So how many feet is that? Well, that's 3 feet plus 3 feet plus 2 more. So that gives us 8 feet. Pretty straightforward right there. So now this problem is going to be the exact same concept. You're going to draw 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. Each one of those is cut up into 3 equal feet. And to get that extra third, you're just going to do, boom, a foot. And so that gives us 10 feet. More practice, only this time we're converting feet into inches. All right. So what we see, we're going to start by saying we need to draw 6 1/4 feet. So 6 1/4 feet. Well, let's begin by drawing 6 feet. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now we know that it says we're supposed to cut them into quarters, all right? So I'm going to zoom in on this last foot right here, and we're going to use that to help us. So it says we're supposed to draw 6 1/4. So what that means is we're going to end up taking a foot, which is 12 inches, and cutting it into 4 equal-sized pieces. Well, that means each quarter is 3 inches. So if I wanted to draw a quarter of a foot, so here's my 6 feet, and if I wanted to draw a quarter of a foot, it would be that much, and it would be 3 inches. So if I want to know how many inches we have total, well, we have 12 inches here, 12 inches here, 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches. This is 12 inches plus 3. So we've got 12 times 6, which is 72. And then we're going to take 72 and we're going to add 3 more inches. That gives us 75 inches. So that's how we take 6 1/4 feet and turn it into inches. This problem is basically the same, only our fraction is going to be a little bit different. Oh, let's do this problem. 5 1/4 gallons. So we're going to start by drawing 5 gallons. So 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, 4 gallons, 5 gallons. So there's our 5 gallons. Now they want us to also draw an additional 1/4 gallon. So I'm going to zoom in on that last gallon as our reference, and we know that we're going to cut it into 4 pieces because the fraction that it said was 1/4. And it says we're going to be converting it into quarts. So the idea is, well, if you take a gallon and cut it into 4 pieces, you just cut it into quarts. So this is 1 quart, 1 quart, 1 quart, and 1 quart, because there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So that means if I want to draw 5 1/4 gallons, that means I'm going to draw 1 more little quarter, which is a quart. So if I want to take my gallons and turn them into quarts, I know I have 4 quarts here, 4 quarts here, 4 quarts, 4 quarts, This whole thing is already 4 quarts, plus we have 1 extra quart here. So we have 5 copies of 4 quarts, which is 20. Take that 20 and add 1 more. That gives us 21 quarts in 5¼ gallons. And that wraps up 4th grade, Module 7, Lesson 12, using measurement tools to convert mixed numbers into smaller units, things like 1 1/3 yards into feet.